What's good, gun family? Urban Gun Reviews, and today on the channel I wanted to have a discussion with y'all. Is Shadow Systems better than a Glock? Let's talk about it. Alright, so I have both of these firearms and I was thinking, like, which is actually better? Like, what do I like better, or what is just better stock? Alright, so let's get something out the way real quick. This right here is a Glock G45 chambered 9mm, and this is the Second Amendment version, so it does have Second Amendment on the frame. And this is not how all Glocks come, all Glock G45s, obviously. So I'm just going to be comparing the base model, not this model, because this model has some other features that the base model don't have. The same thing with my Shadow Systems XR920 Elite. That the Elite version has some features that the combat version, which is the base model, doesn't have. So I'm not going to be comparing this exact model or this exact model, because these are not really the base models, and I just want to keep it basic, you know what I mean, just give y'all the base models of both of these firearms. All right, so things that we're going to be comparing, the size, features, mag capacity, and the overall performance of both of these firearms. I've shot both of these firearms. With the Shadow Systems, I got 549 rounds through that, and with the Glock I have 1,435 rounds through this. So significantly different when it comes to, you know, how much I've shot it, but I've had this longer than I had this, so I mean that can really make the difference, probably the difference, even though I do like and enjoy shooting both of these. All right, so let's get into this. Shadow Systems does say that they are Glock inspired. All right, so let's take that into consideration when comparing both of these firearms. That without this firearm, there would be no this firearm. Okay, so the Glock is the innovator of a lot of different firearms nowadays. You got the Taurus, the PSAs, what's some other ones? The like Zevs, Polymer 80s. Like, all of those guns are inspired by one of these. Okay. But I'm not gonna let Glock off the hook with that and just say, hey, you know, since you inspired it, you get some little bonus point. Nah, we're not doing this. 2025, and these other companies is bringing the heat, and they're giving us a lot of stuff, and I want to make sure that we keep Glock accountable for, you know, just giving us basic models for the same price, or we can get, you know, something a little better for maybe the same price or a little bit more. So let's dive a little deeper into this though. So the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, is the price. All right, the price of this, I paid $693 for this. This is total tax and everything out the door, but for the base model, the total price is $539. All right, so like I said, we're gonna do base models. I'm not gonna do this one. So $539 for a Glock G45. Okay, and the Shadow Systems right here, this particular model that I got, the XR920 Elite, the ticket on this one was $1,009, but the base model, I believe, is like $700 or something like this. In the $700 range. So when it comes to price, they're almost similar, but Glock is a little cheaper when it comes to price. So let's talk about mags. They both come with two 17-round mags, and the Glock comes with, of course, Glock mags, and the Shadow Systems comes with two 17-round P mags. So they are interchangeable. So if you do have a Shadow Systems and you do have a Glock 19 or something like that, the G45, their mags are interchangeable, so you can use either one. Now, when it comes to reliability of those mags, of course, I'm gonna stick with the Glock mags. I think that they are better built. They're just more durable, more reliable and everything. So even when I run my Shadow Systems, I run it with the Glock mags. I don't run it with the P mags, but when I take the Shadow Systems to the range, I do use the P mags just to have more mags to shoot, and you know, to kind of test them out for reliability as well. And same thing with the Glock. When I take the Glock to the range, I do use the P mags to you know, test them out with the Glock. But of course, when I'm carrying a Glock, I'm carrying it with Glock mags only, not messing with any non-OEM mags. When it comes to optics, the XR920, even the combat version, comes optic ready. All right. And with the Glock G45, you see this is not an optics ready pistol. So with the Shadow Systems, if you want to run an optic, this would be the better way to go. And with the Glock, if you want to run the optics, you're gonna have to get the MOS version, which is obviously gonna cost you a couple more dollars. So let's talk about the slides. All right, slides. Let's talk about the slides. All right, so the slides on both of these pistols are pretty decent. The Glock slide is a lot more smoother, and the Shadow System slide is a lot more aggressive. All right, so if I had to pick one, I definitely would go with the Shadow System slide because it's more aggressive. Now this one does have lightning cuts in it, so I'm not directly comparing this one, but the combat version has doesn't have lightning cuts, but it does have the aggressive slash serrations in it, so I can mention that. Glock does have slash serrations in the front and rear, but they're nowhere near as deep as the slash serrations on the Shadow Systems. Nowhere near aggressive, nowhere near as deep or anything. And you see on the top of your Glock, you don't have any serrations, but on the top of your Shadow Systems, you got slide serrations. So if it came down to the slides, I'm definitely picking the Shadow System slide over the Glock slide, just because it's more aggressive, which makes it easier to, and we're clear, make sure I put that out there, we're in a clear, safe environment, but it just makes it easier to clear, to rack your slide from the front and the rear using, you know, those aggressive texturings rather than using these. Not to say that you can't do it with these or anything like that, but with the Shadow Systems, it just makes it a little easier, or a lot easier really, with the aggressive texture. Now when you talk about triggers, everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, a lot of people talk crap on the Glock triggers. Okay, now me personally, I've never had trouble with a Glock trigger. Yes, Glock triggers are heavy, but they are reliable. Okay, like this trigger is like a 4.5, probably 5 pound trigger on it, you know, and it's just a reliable trigger. You got some sponginess in there. Reset, you know, not really that long, anything, but it's a Glock trigger. Okay, and a lot of people just don't like Glock triggers. That's why the aftermarket is so big with Glock parts, as far as like triggers and other things and stuff like that, because people just don't like a standard trigger on the Glock, but they are reliable and they give you no problems. All right, so with the Shadow Systems, the trigger on it, I would say it's an upgrade from a standard Glock trigger, but I wouldn't say like it's one of the best triggers either. The trigger's a little lighter. You still get that sponginess in there before you hit that wall. Reset, I think it's a little. Reset is a little better on the Shadow Systems. It's not as far a reset. You got the trigger blade on both of these pistols, but as far as triggers, neither one of them is super great. But if I had to give it to one, I think I'd give it to the Shadow Systems for the better trigger. Now this is a big controversial, did I say that right? This is a big issue with a lot of people as well, and it's the grip on Glocks. Okay, now the grip on the Glock is a standard grip. It's not 1911 style grip, so it's got this weird angle to it. Personally, I don't hate it. I like the grip on Glocks. I think it feels good. It fits good into my hand and everything. So I like the grip on the Glock. So I'm not gonna crap on the grip. It feels good. looks good, it fits good in my hands. Maybe for people with smaller hands it might not be that desirable, but for me, I have no problems with the grip on a Glock. Now let's talk about the grip on the Shadow Systems. They have a 1911 style grip, which is a more like straight, like down. It's a different angle. So this angle on here, this angle on here is a lot better to me. Like I said, I don't hate the Glock frame. I don't hate the angle of the grip. I said frame earlier. I don't hate the angle of the grip on the Glock, but the angle on the Shadow Systems is way better. Just more comfortable, everything. Like, I really like the angle on the Shadow Systems. So I would definitely give Shadow Systems the win on when it comes to the grip angles. Now let's talk about texture on the grip, and we want to get into the whole grip in general, right? So you see on this particular Glock G45, you do have texturing right here, finger grooves, finger rest right here. Now that is not standard on your Glock G45. So if you got the base model Glock G45, you don't get that. Okay, you don't get that finger rest right here. So you gotta take that out the equation and act like it's not even there. Okay, this right here doesn't make a difference. Like the etching that they have on here for the Second Amendment, that doesn't make a difference in the grip. This is the standard back grip for the Glock. So little pyramid shapes or square shapes on there. Same on the front of the pistol, you got both of those on there. So they're not bad. They work for me. Not aggressive. They fit in your hand, you know, give you a good grip. They don't really sink into your fingers or anything, but like I said, it's not a bad feeling. Also with this one, you see on the trigger guard in the front of it, we got a little texture. I don't think that that's standard on a regular standard model Glock, but I'm gonna mention it anyway. We got the Glock rail, if you want to put a light or a laser or something on there, and you have the grip plug and stuff like that. So your standard, you know, Glock model frame and things like that. Talking about the Shadow Systems grip, this grip right here, the texture on this, sandpaper-like texture, y'all see that all around. All four sides, 3, 6, 9, 12. You got sandpaper type of grip, and that just, I love that personally, because it really digs into your hand, not in a way to where it hurts your hand or will make your hand bleed or, you know, feel awkward. This is just a great texturing to go on your firearm and really gives you, you know, a solid feel when you're gripping it, when you're gripping the pistol. So if you were to have issues as far as your pistol getting wet and, you know, some type of snow type of conditions or something where your pistol was slippery, these grips would allow you to just, you know, lock in, boom, get on there and be right with it. So these grips on here, definitely dope. I'm feeling these grips. These grips are 100 times better than the grips on the Glock. Now, the finger grooves, you get those same finger grooves that the Glock, my Glock G45 had, but the standard Glock G45s don't have. You get that same groove right here on both sides. So that's standard coming with your Shadow Systems pistol. So when it comes to grip on the both of these pistols, the Shadow Systems wins hands down for as ergonomics and as far as just grip, texture, feel, and look. The Shadow Systems just look better and feels better than a standard Glock. The sights on the Glock pistol are the standard U-notch sights, and I mean, they're just basic. Nothing really great about those sights. It can be upgraded, of course, but that's going to cost you money. We're talking straight stock out the box. And the sights on the Shadow Systems, you got the blacked out rear with the tritium front sights. So of course the Shadow Systems would win in the sight department because they just have better sights, and I mean, they look better. easier to really pick up on them. I mean, and you got a tritium front sight, you know, and with a Glock pistol, you're gonna have to pay extra to get that tritium front sight. So definitely Shadow Systems will win when it comes to the iron sights on their pistols. Reliability, over 1,400 rounds with this, zero problems. You dig? Almost 600 rounds with this, no problems. All right, so when it comes to reliability, both of these pistols are gonna be super duper reliable. You can't really go wrong with either one. When you're talking about reliability, you're not gonna run into many issues, or any issues, with a Glock or your Shadow Systems. The Shadow Systems are based off the Glock, so yeah, it's a Glock clone or Glock inspired pistol, but they still had to put some work to make it, you know, function like this. You can have all this pretty stuff and the bells and whistles and all that, but if it don't run reliable like this, all that stuff don't really matter. So reliability, I'd have to give it a tie, because they both run flawlessly and I had no issues with either one of them. So let's talk about the advantages of each pistol, right? So if you got the Shadow Systems, the advantages that you'll have is up-to-date features. You got front and rear cocking serrations. You got aggressive serrations in those cocking serrations. You got a better grip. You got a better grip angle with the 1911 grip angle. You got finger grooves on both sides. You got a slightly better trigger, I'll give you that. We got flare magwell. We got optics cuts. We just have better sights. You just have a better stock pistol when it comes to the Shadow Systems pistols. Now let's get into this thing right here, right? So the Glock, some advantages of the Glock is you're gonna get that Glock reliability. All right, these things are just gonna run and run and run, and then, you know, you're gonna forget about it. You're gonna go get something else and it's gonna have problems, and you're like, why'd I leave my Glock? Let me go back to my Glock, and that motherfucker gonna run and run and run and run. So Glock reliability is something that you can't put it second. It has to be first. When you're talking about a pistol, a carry pistol, the reliability has to be the first thing. I don't care about the looks. I don't care about the feels. If it shoots every time I need it to shoot, it's a done deal. You feel me? So Glock reliability is definitely a plus when it comes to Glock pistols. Another plus when it comes to Glock pistols is the accessories. You're not going to need to look far or hard to find accessories for your Glocks. I'm talking every part you can upgrade. So if you want to get a new slide, you can get an optics cut slide. You want to get new sights, you can get new sights. New back plate, you get back plate. New slide stop, new takedown levers, new frame, new trigger, new barrel, new internals. You want to get a new plunger, a new everything on here has a aftermarket market. You feel me? So you can upgrade any and everything on here, and believe me, it's not hard to find. So that's a plus to where the Shadow Systems parts, even though they're Glock inspired, I don't think that I know they don't have the market that Glock has when it comes to aftermarket parts. So I would definitely give Glock the advantage if you were talking about doing upgrades and changing out parts, or maybe wanting to put different colors and stuff like that on your pistol. Glock is the way to go when it comes to that. Simplicity with the Glock. Okay, easy to take down, easy to clean, easy to maintain, easy to load, easy to do everything. You know, if you just wanted to be a regular person and just keep your gun and not clean it for thousands and thousands of rounds, your Glock is going to be the one that's going to run. Your Glock is going to be the one that's just not going to give you any problems, not going to be, you know, give you a hissy fit because it ain't old, you know, today or the day you took it out. It's going to run. Okay, so very simple firearm, but intricate. You know what I mean? It has all the great parts, but it's a simple firearm. And you know, in this day and age, you can't take that for granted. So I definitely appreciate Glock being simple. And the last thing is that Glocks are cheaper. And that's weird to even say that a Glock is cheaper. But comparing it to a Shadow Systems, Glock is going to be cheaper. Factory for factory, no upgraded parts, not the Elite. If you're talking about the combat, you know, the Glock is going to be probably a couple $100 cheaper. If not just $100, but probably about $200 cheaper. And you know, I'm not gonna call Glock a budget gun because it's not budget at all. But a lot of these other companies, they come out and they have all these other bells and whistles, and that stuff costs. You know, it's not cheap. So Glock is giving you really the essentials. This is the basic needs of some, you know, for somebody. You know, you got a reliable pistol that's gonna bang when you pull the trigger, and you know, if you want to do all that extra stuff, you can do it, but it's gonna cost you. And for the basic person who just wants to get a pistol and have something to carry with them, and you know, have something that's reliable, that's what they're giving you. They're not giving you all the bells and whistles. They're just giving you reliability and a firearm. So I respect that. So to wrap up this video, I'm gonna answer the question is, which one is better? Is it the Glock or is it the Shadow Systems? And I would say straight out the box, I'm gonna have to give it to the Shadow Systems, all right? And it's not to crap on Glock any, but straight out the box, you're getting just better features on the Shadow Systems than you're getting on the Glock. Yeah, you're gonna pay a couple extra dollars for those features, but I think that the Shadow Systems is a better pistol for the price, you know. So you know, you're getting reliability in both of these pistols. I would EDC either one of these. This is my EDC. I rock with this all the time. I've never carried this, and mainly because I don't have a holster for it, so I've never carried this. But I don't even know if I would carry it. Not that I would have a problem carrying it, but I just don't know if I would carry this. I mean, I would. I ain't gonna lie, I would carry it. I just really haven't tried to get a holster for it because I just really like this and all of that. Glock is just giving you the essentials, you feel me? So they're not giving you, you know, all the extra stuff. But if you want the extra stuff, you like modifying your pistols, then you know, you can do that with the Glock. If you just want to buy a pistol and just rock with the features that it has straight out the box, you know, with them updated features, the Shadow Systems will be the way to go. Less modification, it's coming straight out the box, ready to rock. You know, you throw your optic on there, get you a light, and you're ready to go. You know, if you wanted to put a suppressor on there, you can put a suppressor on there. So the Shadow Systems, I would think, would be for the person who really doesn't, who wants kind of a better looking gun straight out the box and don't want to have to do upgrades and stuff like that, compared to the Glock being a person that's just gonna get, you know, the basic needs, a reliable firearm. And if you plan on upgrading those parts later on, you could do those upgrades as well. So I would definitely say, comparing both of those guns, that the Shadow Systems to me is the better pistol. Even though, I gotta keep putting that in there, even though the Shadow Systems was built off of a Glock. You know, you gotta respect what Glock has done for all these years and all the work that they've put in, because they've paved the way for a whole bunch of other companies to come in and swoop in, and now people are like, well, is it better than Glock? No, it's not better than Glock, but they just put out, they give you better features, even though it's more. If Shadow Systems was the exact same price as a Glock with the same features, then it would be just, it would blow Glock out the water, just because you're getting the same features. But with the Shadow Systems, you're gonna pay a couple extra dollars. With a Zev, you're gonna pay a couple extra dollars and stuff like that. But like I was saying, I don't have a problem with either one of these guns, and I think they're both dope guns. And if you had either one, you wouldn't be, you know, struggling. If you had either one, you know, both of them is gonna be sufficient for whatever you need to do. So before we get up out of here, I wanted to ask you guys a question, and y'all can let me know in the comment section, is do you prefer a gun that's ready to go straight out the box, or do you prefer a gun that you'd have to do some modifications for and do some upgrades and stuff like that? Let me know in the comment section which one y'all kind of prefer, because that'll let me know if you kind of leaning more towards the shadow systems or if you're more of a Glock person. All right, but it's Urban Gun Reviews. If you like this video or you felt like you learned something from this video, you can let me know by clicking the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, which I don't know why you're not subscribed to the channel, we up to over 700 right now. We need to keep them numbers going up, get me back up and further than where I was before my channel got shut down. But we got 700 right now, so if you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it that you subscribe to the channel and watch the videos, man. Watch them videos, man. If you subscribe to the channel too, hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I upload any new content or do anything on YouTube. You can be notified, you know, so you know when I'm doing that type of stuff. If you're not following me on all my social media sites, all them links are in the description, so make sure y'all do that. Follow your boy on all socials, and we out to the next time, gun family. Stay blessed, stay strapped.